everyone, Yensid Organist here, and welcome back to another episode of OrgelCraft. I hope you guys are all having a great day today. So, in our last episode, we built this pen for the sheep. Well, I've been doing a little bit between episodes, and, well, I went ahead and finished a barn/stables for all of our animals that were over here. So, we had our sheep that were in here, and then I basically just continued the design and brought it over and doubled it so we could have a pen for the chickens, and then reversed it on the other side so that we could have a pen for our cows and for our horses. So all of our animals, at least all the animals that we have a place. These horses seem to love going up on the hay bales. And let me show you, I've been working around with some texture a little bit. So just to kind of vary up the floor, because it's an animal pen and it's, mostly going to be dirt, and other things that one would find in an animal pen. Yeah, so just kind of varying up the texture of the ground a little bit, and then putting some hay in for the horses, a water trough in here for them, and all of our animals have water. The cows is actually down on the ground because they kept climbing up on it, but they have some hay bales as well. And then our sheep I didn't do anything inside the sheep other than I did give them some water, which is a little bit hard to see. But that actually needed to be in the ground for our collection system. And then, as you can see, we have the cauldron over there with water as the water trough for the chickens. And yep, and we just, as you probably just heard, the sheep shearer is working. And I went ahead and, let me actually go over here and show you. I went ahead and extended the collection system so that now it'll come and pick up all the eggs that the chickens drop as well. So we've got a nice collection system, and it's getting almost all of the wool. I was doing some AFKing this week, left the game running overnight a couple of times, and I discovered I wasn't quite getting all of it. So I had to expand that just a little bit to make sure, where the rails were running, that is, to make sure I was getting as much as possible. So this is what I have got from a couple of nights of leaving the game run. So we've got almost 8 stacks of wool here, plus all the extras that I used to kind of filter it. We are completely full with eggs in this chest, and we're about a sixth of the way there. But as you can see, we've got, what is that? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 stacks of it right there. So we have a ton of wool from all of this. And then, this has been my little AFK hut. Not the nicest thing in the world, but it keeps the monsters from killing me. I went up and trapped all of the villagers, well, all 2 of the villagers that were left. So they're trapped in houses to be protected, but also our pumpkin farm has been running, and it's not nearly as efficient as the wool, but we've got 4 2/3 stack of pumpkins, so we are making good progress on the pumpkins. Just before I started recording, I was looking at our little project wall over here and realized that I did not take the pumpkin farm off of it at the end of the last episode. So we can go ahead and take that sign down, and I've got our stable and animal pens done, so we can go ahead and take that down. So I'm still keeping with this very ambitious goal of trying to get this whole village and starter area finished by the end of the next episode, and I realize that's a lot of projects to get done. But as I said in the last episode, I do have a little bit more time to work. Not so much for this episode, but for episode 10, I'm going to have a lot more time to be able to get in here and work on some of these projects. So for this episode, I want to get the sugarcane farm up and going. I want to get started on the wall, so I at least want to figure out where around our village the wall needs to go, and we might have some issues with the terrain, so we'll have to explore that a little bit later. And maybe plop down a couple extra houses in this one. So I think that'll be a good start. Maybe I can go ahead and get these trees finished as well. So I think that's the plan for this episode. So where we will start is with the sugarcane farm. So I have got that designed up over in my testing world. So let's go take a look at that. Welcome back to the testing world. So here is the partial sugarcane farm. It's not quite as big as we're going to build it over in the survival world. I'm going to do it in 4 tiers like we did with the pumpkin farm as well. But so this is basically what we have. It's pretty straightforward. So we're going to do 8 pistons along here, and we'll have the 1 observer to basically power the whole thing. And we'll have our water stream that everything will collect in, and a row of pistons. I had to put some kind of block on top of the pistons, because if the sugarcane grows 3 high, it sometimes gets stuck on top of there. So I wanted to make sure we weren't losing any that way. And then if we come around and look at the back here, it's pretty simple. So the observer is powering this block right there. And then all we need is repeaters that will run through and power these blocks on the bottom, and then the redstone on the top powers the other blocks so that all 8 pistons fire. And then basically we have a little bit of a step up thing right over here on the side, and then we repeat the design going the opposite direction here, and then we'll just keep going up from there for the other 2 layers. So as I said, it's a fairly simple design, and we can go ahead and speed things up and watch it in action. And that'll do. So as you can see, the sugarcane's coming out. Definitely some is getting is not quite always making it. Yeah, I don't need this to be the most efficient thing in the world, so I'm not too concerned about a little bit of loss. But as you can see, we've got all of that coming in very nicely in the chest there. So I have taken some screenshots of this so I know what to do, and let's go start building this thing over in our survival world. So this is where the pumpkin farm is located. It's right under this cobblestone. I wanted to cover it so that nothing fell into it, but I also wanted to remember where it was, so I did something that would definitely stand out. So our sugarcane farm is the exact same height as our pumpkin farm, so I'm going to go ahead and basically build it right next to it. It's pretty much the exact same size. So I'm going to go ahead and get the hole dug out, and we'll get started on that. The hole for the sugarcane farm has been dug out, and I just got started doing a little bit of block placing here, but I thought we'd go ahead and do this first layer together, and then I will go ahead and build the other layers off camera. So our water stream is going to run through right here. That's the water that's going to collect everything. And sugarcane actually does need water to grow. So I actually designed this in such a way that we will be able to put water in behind. So the next layer is going to go up here, and there will be water that flows in here. So but we'll worry about that a little bit later. So this is where our observer is going to go. And let me find that. There it is. Alright, so the observer is going to go right there. Excellent. And then our pistons are going to go on top. There we go. And I'm stuck. Alright, so there's our row of pistons, and then, let's see, if I look at my reference drawing, there it is. So we're going to have a block there, and then we're going every other. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, okay. And then, if we hop down here, our repeaters are going to go there, there, and there, and then on top of these blocks, we need redstone dust there. And then we need that. Let's see, we're going to put these over top of all of them. Yes. So one more. There we go. I'm going to have to clear these blocks out here. Let's do that so that I can have easy access, or maybe not. Yes, made it. Okay, there we go. So then we need redstone on top of all of these. And then we need our redstone line coming through there, and then it will work its way up there. So that should be everything in place. So let's go ahead and test this. If I stick a block in front of the observer, all of our pistons should fire. That looked like it worked to me. Alright, we're good to go. So then, all I need to do is fill in this layer on top, because that's what's going to allow us to be able to put our water stream on the next level. And I'll have to put one there on the end once I'm actually done working through all of this. So there we go. So there is one layer built, and I'm going to go ahead and get the other 3 built and everything all wired up, and we'll be able to test it. Welcome back. It has been more than a week since the last time I recorded, and that was good timing. The sugarcane farm is completely done. I've got all 4 layers built up here, and everything is working. So I had a little bit of trouble. I was just going through, where is all my stuff? Oh, that's right, it's in here. I have been doing some AFKing over the last week to try to gain some resources. All of this stuff needs to come back into my inventory. There we go. As you can see, I've got quite a lot of sugarcane built up here from what I have been able to do. And I have to get all of this turned around now. That goes there, that goes there, and that goes there. Water bucket, food. Yeah, that's good. All right. Anyway, now we're back together. So, it was funny because I spent a night AFK, and I probably had about 6 or 7 stacks of sugarcane, and I was a little disappointed by that because this farm has twice the capacity of the pumpkin farm that we've got over here, and so I was really expecting a higher yield. So I was doing some work in here a couple of days after that, and I watched the whole farm go, and it didn't seem like I got nearly enough. So I came in here and I looked up, and I had stalks of sugarcane that had grown 3 high and were still sitting there. And so I thought that was kind of odd. So I came back in here to kind of look and see what was going on. And when I did the first row, I did everything right. On top of the repeaters, there needed to be a block. Well, on every subsequent layer, I put no block on top of the repeater. And so nothing was firing. Only half the pistons were firing on the upper levels. So that is what happened there. But I went through, I managed to get all of that fixed, and now all 8 pistons fire on every row whenever this one at the end is activated. So the sugarcane farm is up and running. Whoop, and there it went. And here it comes. How much do we get? I don't know, because I wasn't paying attention to how much was in there before. But, anyway, I can put that in there. As you can see, we got quite a lot of sugarcane coming along, and it's been helping the pumpkin farm as well, because now we have 11, almost 12 stacks of pumpkins. So things are... That's right. I wanted to make sure nothing could get in here, and it's nighttime. Oh, that's probably not good. Let's see. I don't think I should still have a redstone dust in my inventory. What did I break? What did I do? Oh, I know what I did. This needs to go... there we go. That needs to go there. Okay. Now we should be good. Put that there. Put that there. Alright. And then close that off. Okay. Should be good to go. And then I'm going to put my ladder back. And we'll go out here and see what joys await me in the nighttime. Doesn't look like anything's coming after me, so that's good news. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and sleep, and let's get through this night. I've been doing a lot of grind work when I've had some time to play. I haven't always had time to record or work on anything on a project, so I've been doing a lot of overnight AFKing. And just some gathering of resources. I've worked out a design for the wall, which we're going to look at in just a minute, because that is the next thing that I want to start working on. But I'm gonna need a lot of resources for it, so I've been gathering those. All right, sugarcane farm, done. And there is another project off the board. We'll just stick that right there. And all right, fishing boat, additional houses, finish the village landscaping, de-orange the trees, repopulate the village, and a wall. Okay, so. All right, I gotta get my thoughts in order. As I said, I've been playing, but I haven't been in recording an episode mode. So the wall is definitely the next thing that I want to work on. Although I do have a funny story for you guys. So I was doing my little AFK session one night, and I was in my box here, and I came out in the when I logged back in, I didn't log out. When I jumped back onto the computer in the morning, I could hear an Enderman wandering around, and I don't know that we've encountered an Enderman yet in these series, but they are these fairly scary creatures. Well, I heard one wandering around, and so I decided I would try to get it, and it was in here with the chickens, and I did manage to kill it, which was good, but I didn't notice as I was dispatching the thing that it was in the sheep pen, but all the sheep were over here. Well, Endermen have this nasty habit of picking up blocks and moving them. So this Enderman had picked up a dirt block and had put it in the sheep pen, so all of the sheep went over the fence and were in with the chickens. So I had to do some work to get that reorganized and get all the sheep back where they are supposed to be, and I need to clear out the eggs again. All right. Let me organize a couple of things resource-wise, and we're going to start figuring out where we want this wall to go. I'll see you in just a second. All right. So I've gathered a couple of resources that we're going to use to plot out where we want to put this wall. And I will show you that design in just a minute, but I thought first we should maybe take a trip around the outside of the village and figure out exactly where we want to put this. Now, because of the waterways that we have around here, it's going to be difficult to build the wall in such a way that we'll be able to fully mob-proof the area, but it should help keep things under control. So, I think that we maybe want to start down here. And you know what? I'm just going to put a little marker right there. And then work through. I want to work on level ground as much as possible, and I know that's not going to be completely possible as we go through some of this. But maybe we bring it back to, like, this area. And this gets us well beyond our village. And then we'll start bringing it up over this hill. And I've made allowances for working with hills, and we might have to level this hill off a little bit. In fact, that would probably be a good idea. This is a bit of an awkward hillside, and it's just kind of here. So maybe we'll take that down and keep working around. Now, what I'm probably going to have a little bit of difficulty with is this hill here, because we definitely have quite the cliff, so I'm not sure what exactly we're going to do with this. I don't have any kind of design that will allow for a really steep drop-off, but maybe what we could actually do is maybe we could bring it out to the edge of the cliff and then just make sure that there is no way that any mobs can climb up the cliff, and then we could just pick up again on the bottom. And I'm probably stuck down here now. Maybe I can jump on top of this tree. There we go. So we'll have to play around with that a little bit when we get there. We got a lot of building to do in the meantime, and we probably are going to want that to come out here a little bit. There we go. All right, so leap of faith down into the water. We made it. Excellent. So then we would probably pick up from right where we left off at ground level, take it right into the wall. I hear a zombie somewhere. Okay. And then I think we'll probably curve it a little bit once we get into this area, because we don't need to go out too far. And then I think maybe what we'll do is we'll do the same cliff trick that we did over there, and we'll just build it right into the cliff, and then we'll pick it up on top. And I don't know if... Yep, here we go. That's a lovely view. Excuse me. Yep. Alright, so then we'll pick it back up here. Let's go right there. And then I'm not quite sure what to do when it comes to the tree farm. Let's see, and how far beyond it? We are beyond the tree farm, so maybe we can just continue to bring it around up here. And then we'll come down through here. Obviously, we're going to have to take out a lot of trees, level some ground off just to make this work. But we can come in here. And not quite sure what we want to do over here, because I know this drops off. Actually, oh! It goes down in there, but it continues up here. Cool. So let's just take this all the way up and around. And I know this is a big area, much bigger than our village is. I was doing a little bit of exploring, and I discovered we have a desert right over there. I've been going all the way out there for desert resources, and there's a desert right there. So, yeah. And then I think once we get to this point, we can start bringing it around. We can go on a diagonal over here, and let's see if I can finish this up before it becomes nighttime. Maybe we want to bring it in a little bit closer, because there's this little ravine over here that I don't want to have to deal with. So maybe there. And then we'll bring it this way. So we'll go there. And then when it comes to finishing it up, you know what? We have a nice little bit of a slope here, so maybe we can do a little bit of terraforming on this hill and bring it right down to around here. Maybe end it in the water. And I think that might be pretty good. So that is a fairly big area that we have to cover, but I think it'll be all right. And I think it'll give us something nice to work with in the area. Obviously, we're going to have to do a lot of work to make sure that we have all the lighting in place so that no mobs can spawn within our village limits. But you know, we can always do a little bit of torch spam on some of the areas farther out from the village, and then I can just work on that when I get a chance here and there. So now that we've figured out approximately where we want to go, let's hop over into my testing world, and I'll show you the design that I have come up with. Welcome back to the testing world. So here is the design that I have come up with for the wall. We're using kind of like an outline of stone bricks, and then I think they're polished. Yeah, polished granite stairs to have this little bit of color and a little bit of detail. We have these chiseled stone blocks in the middle, and then I've got these andesite wall supports that go along here, and then behind there are the smooth stone blocks. So that is our straight wall segment, and every one of these panels is 7 blocks long, and then there's 1 block in between each of them. Up on top, I went with dark oak. I think the dark oak looks really nice. I know it's a little bit out of character with what we've got, the color scheme going on in the village, but I think that it's okay. We've got dark oak in the tree farm, and there's definitely some dark oak trees near where the village is, so I think that's okay. And then we're continuing the birch fence along the top, so it's completely safe. And I'm using half slabs and stairs, so it's completely mob-proof. I don't think mobs can spawn on this, but we can put torches, and we will put torches or lanterns all along here as well. But what this does is it gives us a nice vantage point where if we have any mobs on the outside, we can deal with them fairly easily. And then we can also walk along the top of it. So then, obviously, we need to be able to turn. So this is what I came up with for the design, to go along an angle. And so it's basically the same thing we have over here, just altered slightly. so that it can work on a diagonal. And once again, the main part of it is 7 blocks. The only difference is to be able to get the front and the back to line up properly, I had to do an extra block when we go between segments. So there are 2 blocks here to keep this going on the outside. So that's the only difference when we go along that. But it's still 7 blocks on the diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you just have the extra smooth stone blocks. And then when it's time to turn it off, you just do 1 smooth stone in line with the last part of the wall, and you pick it up and go from there. And then the only other thing we need to look at, let's see if I can zoom around here, here we go, is I worked out how to deal with any kind of incline. And we can only go up 3 blocks over 1 section, but I think that will be okay, and I think this looks okay. It kind of continued the design, just offsets it a little bit when we go up the hill. And I think that will work okay. Obviously, we're going to have to work some terraforming out back in the survival world. And if on this side, the dirt's piled up a little bit higher, I think that's okay. It's not nearly as important on the inside as it is on the outside, because we want to make sure that no mobs can come anywhere close to getting up there. But we do want it to look good all around, so we'll just have to see once we actually get into building it. So I think what we need to do first is come up with the lay out the foundation for exactly where this wall is going to run. Now that we've got the pattern for the wall, and I've taken several screenshots of this, so I know what to work with, but I think we should lay it out, exactly where each segment's going to go, so we know what we're working with before we start building. So let's hop back over into our survival world. So between these clips, I checked my recording time, and I discovered that I'm definitely getting a little bit on the long side here, and I do want to make a good start on this, so I might have to go cut some of my talking out from earlier so that we can have enough time to do this. So what I'm going to do for this design is for the layout is I'm going to use the granite for basically dividing out each of the sections of the wall, and then I will use the cobblestone to fill in everything in between. So let's go ahead and start right here on the water's edge, and we're going to do that, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a granite. And we might want to come up here. There we go. Alright, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's not where that needs to go. I need to repair my pickaxe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Granite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm stuck. Excuse me. Yeah, don't you talk back to me. I'm not going to worry about the terrain right now. I'm just going to go along. And apparently I'm going to go straight through this tree. Alright, but you get the idea of what we're working with here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish the layout. And first I'm going to deal with this spider. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the layout, and I will be back with you when that is complete. Welcome back. I have gone all the way around the village in the path that we kind of explored in the last clip, and I have laid out the framework for where the wall is going to go all the way around the entire village. So as you can see, it kind of stretches around here, and then I'm not going to walk all of this with you right now because we already went through all of that, and I am definitely pressed for time, and I want to start building this before the end of this episode. So, but as you can kind of see, it might be a little hard to see because it's very small, but it wraps all the way around and comes all the way around the village, takes care of those little cliffs that we had to deal with, and ends up in the lake over here. I don't know if this is a lake or a bay or an inlet. I don't know what to call it. Somebody who knows nautical stuff, inform me down in the comments. But this is where it ends. So we're going to build right along this line, and I've got all my materials here, and I brought a stone cutter so that we could just make things as we go. And let's see how we want to do. We already start up a block. Well, you know what? The first one will be fine. So we probably are just going to do this first one. So I'm going to plunk that down, and we need polished granite stairs. So I'm going to do that. Can I do that? There we go. All right. And then I need andesite fences. There we go. Andesite walls, I'm sorry. Alright, and then we need the smooth stone and the stone bricks. And I believe... Oh, we also... I knew I was forgetting something. I don't have the piece for the middle, and the sun is going down. Alright, hang on a second. Okay, I am back. I've got what I need, and we need the stone, and we turn it into this. That's what we need. Alright, so... let's go ahead and take out this first section here. There we go. And we're going to put our stone there. And then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the smooth stone. There we go. Pick that back up. Pick that up. Alright. And then... and we do this... the whole thing is actually too wide. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. And get that out of there for right now. I will work on the terraforming later. I just want to get this built. There we go. And then, let's see. So we go all the way up there. Bring this across. Down. There we go. And then let's do the walls. On that side. And that side. We'll need to bring this down into the water. I think that I'll probably come up with some kind of, like, tower to put on the end just to kind of round everything off. Alright, and then this and that. And so that will do 1, 2, 3, 4. And along the top. And then I can do this from the other side. Alright, and there is our first segment of the wall done. One down, probably around 100 or so to go. So I have my work cut out for me. I'm going to do some work between episodes getting this wall going. I probably won't get it quite finished, and we'll start working on it in the next episode. And I'm not worrying about the walkway that's going to go on top right now. I need a lot more wood, so I'm converting the 2x2 tree spaces over in our farm to do all dark oak wood so that we'll have more than enough to get that finished off. But I think that is going to do it for today, guys. I hope that you have enjoyed this episode. If you did, please be sure to give it a like and share it with your friends. If you haven't already, I would encourage you to subscribe and make sure you click that little notification bell so that you can stay up to date on all of my latest posts. Be sure to follow me on social media, and if you'd like to help support the channel, I would encourage you to consider becoming one of my Patreons. You can find links to all of these sites down in the description. Thanks for watching. See you real soon.